What is happening? That's what a penis does, hangles and dangles. Sometimes you can't take the Texan out of the OBGYN. Do they speak Danish in Denmark? Is that right? Did I say that right? Is this good or bad? No! Wow! Growing up in the US, my sex ed class did not teach me about safe sex and reproduction. It taught me how to fear God and STDs while awaiting a stork to deliver a baby to me and my future husband. And if you've been here a while, you know how I feel about that. But apparently, in some places, they actually teach the youth about consent and bodies and physiology, sometimes in a way that makes my Texan doctor brain momentarily glitch. From a singing condom in the UK to a Norwegian sex ed series that would have the creators sent straight to jail in the United States, this is an eye-opening or maybe closing global tour of sex ed. If you're new here, subscribe. My channel is basically like the YouTube version of condoms. You get to have fun while being protected from the bad things like misinformation, but not STDs. I can't protect you. Actually, use protection and get tested regularly. My intros keep getting worse and worse. First up is Johnny Condom. Apparently in the UK, Johnny used to be slang or is slang for condom. And apparently in the late 90s, someone made an actual video series for sex ed with a condom named Johnny as the main character. As an aside, in the US, people call condoms rubbers sometimes. And when we moved to Aotearoa, New Zealand, my kids started coming home saying, oh, I got a new rubber, or at school, my friend had a rubber. And I was like, what? And it's still, every time they say it, I'm like, hang on. And they're always talking about erasers. But every single time my brain goes, why is my 6-year-old talking about condoms? Anyway, let's check out Johnny Condom. Yeah! Oh my gosh, this is horrifying. Okay, we don't have the entire series, so I don't know how the information was. I just am gonna go on this intro, like the theme song, and say, 1, the puppets are horrifying, and 2, why is Johnny Condom a cowboy? He looks like he belongs in my home state of Texas, not the UK in a sex ed video.
Indeed, it takes me back to the time when Daddy used to sit me on his knee and he used to say, son, he used to say,
why are they shaped like that too? I don't understand.
Always let people know where you're coming from.
And I've done that to this day, and this is what I say.
You. Do you think that was an intentional pun? Always let people know where you're coming from? That had to be intentional, right? There's no way that wasn't intentional.
Son.
My name is Johnny Condom. My friends just call me John. I'll protect you from the viruses, so why not try me on? I'm only made of rubber, so don't be too surprised when I say that I could save your life. Try me on besides Johnny Condom. Johnny.
Oh, this is out of control. Oh my gosh.
Condom. You'll never know that life can be so good. Johnny Condom. Use a condom.
What is happening? What? Why?
Your life would be much safer if you would.
Oh my gosh. That was the strangest thing I have seen since that one HIV video that we watched. Oh my God, that was so wow. And also, can you imagine being like the people producing that and you're writing out the script and all of that, and you're like, all right, in the theme song, we're gonna take our condom puppets that, you know, they look a little like condoms. That wouldn't be the first thing that came to mind. I only know it's condom because you told me, Johnny Condom. And we're going to go out to a public park, and when the fountains go, we're gonna put our face in it, and that will be in the theme song. And everybody around the writer's table was like, wow. That is such an excellent idea for the theme song. That is such an excellent idea. And can we also add in, always let them know where you're coming from? Do you think the kids will understand the joke? That was wild. I hope we get some actual education in the next one. The next one is a cartoon from Denmark called This Is How You Have Children, or that's what Google Translate told me that it was called. I don't actually speak Danish, but let's see how they procreate in Denmark. If you do speak Danish, though, please let me know in the comments down below if the title of this is actually translated to This Is How You Have Children.
Ja, hvordan får man børn? Man tager en kone og en mand, og så skal de bonde, så kommer der et barn. Vi skal gøre det rigtigt.
Okay, I am an idiot. I did not ever consider that when I clicked on this, it would be in Danish, even though the title is in Danish. It is from Denmark, and obviously it would be in Danish. I have just sat here for 14 full seconds going, why can't I understand it? After specifically discussing the fact that the title was in a language that I had to translate in Google. So we're going to have to get through this as best we can without knowing what they're actually saying. So we have on screen here some stick figures that are cute, and they've been plopped down into a speech bubble. And let's see where we go. I wish I could understand it. If you speak Danish, please tell me what they're talking about.
Og så skal de bonde, så kommer der et barn.
This is funny, I like it.
Vi skal gøre det rigtigt. Hvordan? En seng for eksempel, det irriterer.
Wow! That is not what I expected the next screen to be. I just didn't expect to see long, lanky stick figure man humping his stick person on the drawing for the sex ed.
Når man ikke kan sove.
Oh, we are showing multiple positions. I wish I knew what was being said and what age group this was aimed at, because I don't know if I am impressed or horrified.
Det er bare fordi, de godt kan lide det. Til sidst drøner sæden fra tissemanden ind i skeden. Hvordan kommer sæden så op til ægget? Sædcellerne svømmer selv derop igennem et lille hul.
Is this real? Is this good or bad? I don't know how I feel about it. Like, I want comprehensive sex ed, but I need more context. I need to know what they're saying, and I need to know the age group it's aimed at. But it feels like it's aimed at younger kids because the kid that's narrating it sounds young. Is this... Help.
De har en hale. Ligesom haletusser. Og hvis der ikke er kommet noget æg ud, og hvis ægget er dødt, så dør de også bare. Men hvis ægget er levende, så bliver det befrugtet.
So the eggs arriving, they're at least showing it in the correct place. So egg and sperm meet in the middle aspect of the fallopian tube, and that's usually where fertilization occurs if it's going to occur. So that's great.
Det gælder om at komme først, fordi der er kun én, der slipper ind. Den ægcelle og sædcelle bliver til barn.
And then the sperm die.
Nu er barnet 1 måned. Nu er det 2 måneder. Det er ikke ret stort.
I like how she's patting her uterus there with the little fetus in it.
Den mad, som moren har spist, bliver opløst i blodet. Og så mødes det med barnets blod i moderkagen. Moderkage. Kage.
I do like this. As far as this part about explaining how pregnancy happens and things like that, I feel like it's good. The graphics were jarring, but I'm from Texas and I already discussed my sex ed, and like I'm all for good sex ed, but sometimes you can't take the Texan out of the OBGYN.
Og så løber det gennem navlestrengen. Den spiser faktisk med navlen.
Okay, I'm looking at this and I'm a little confused. I guess that the vasculature that they're showing represents maternal vasculature because the umbilical cord's going to the placenta and then that's vessels going to mom. Oh my gosh, I'm turning Kiwi. The depiction of the fetus and stuff is accurate, which is good.
Hvad hvis den skider? Det gør den altså ikke. Det den ikke skal bruge.
Oh, interesting. It's describing how the placenta gets oxygen to the baby and away from the baby. This is really fascinating. I love that, actually. I needed to wait a little longer before pausing. I know, yeah, people are already yelling at me in the comments, I'm sure. Technically, there's 3 vessels in an umbilical cord. Some have 2. That's called a 2-vessel cord, but that's not normal. It it's not usually like a disaster, but it's not typical. And usually there are 2 arteries and 1 vein. And it's describing in that depiction, even though I can't tell what they're saying, that oxygen comes in and then the blood goes back out. Wow. She changed a lot in that pregnancy, which is totally fine, but she looks like a different person. Does he have a mistress? Because that doesn't look like his same partner. One of them, or both of them, are going to be rightfully pissed when they realize they're both impregnated by this one lanky dude who seems quite amazed with everything that's going on.
Nu kan det ikke vare længe, før det sker.
I really like this so far. This part's really good.
Og fostervandet begynder at løbe ud. Så skal hun snart føde.
Water break? Yeah.
Så får hun vejer.
Not sure why it's yellow. This fetus has meconium-stained fluid, which is when the fetus has a bowel movement prior to delivery, and then when the water breaks, it is green or yellow. And you should let your midwife or doctor know if your water breaks and it's not clear. I mean, you probably should let your midwife or doctor know if your water breaks in general, but it can be representative of meconium fluid if it's not clear.
Så får hun vejer. Det er livmoderens muskler, der trækker sig sammen for at få barnet ud.
Great depiction of contractions. I wish I could know what they were saying.
Snart føde. Så skal hun på hospitalet. Hun kan også føde hjemme eller på en fødeklinik.
And they panic.
Livmodermunden udvider sig, og nu presser hun. Og nu kommer hovedet ud. Det er det sværeste. Så kommer resten, og fostervand og blod. Det er vådt, og det har en...
That is great. I love this. The graphics for depicting the fetal development and process of labor and birth are great.
Mærkelig farve. Det er smurt ind i hvidt fosterfedt. Ellers var huden blevet helt opløst.
I love that they left the umbilical cord attached. Delayed cord clamping, we love to see it. Delayed cord clamping in the literature counts if it's 60 to 90 seconds. Of course, if people want to delay longer, there's no reason you can't do that. It's just the data is on that as the time frame. And the benefit is that the baby gets more blood and that increases their iron stores. And that can be a problem as well because it does increase the risk of jaundice slightly because more blood cells equals more risk of jaundice. That's kind of how jaundice happens. But in general, delayed cord clamping is something we would say has more benefit than risk, although nothing comes without risk. It's usually standard practice anytime somebody has a baby. And there are situations where you shouldn't do it, but in general. Breastfeeding, love it.
Nu kan det nye liv begynde.
I do love how supportive this partner is. They must be fine with him having another pregnant person. Maybe that's their dynamic and it's consensual.
Hvad skal hun hedde? Du mener, hvad skal han hedde? Det kan da lige så godt være en pige. Det kan da lige så godt være en dreng.
Well, that was cute. I don't know what they're saying, but, other than the stick figure sex positions section, which, again, depends on how we're aiming this at what age, I loved it. It was cute. I don't even know how to introduce the next one, so I'm just going to read you the title. Swedish Penis and Vagina Cartoon for ages 3 to 10 with subtitles. Okay, wow. This is wild. I can't take this seriously, but I am so glad it has subtitles. Oh my gosh. If you are from Sweden, can you please tell me if you actually watched this? Also, currently, I think this is a vulva on screen and her eyelashes are on point. No notes. Oh no, they called it vagina. That's a vulva. I just can't be okay with that. I mean, I can't disagree with that. They are saying that the vagina is cool, and even on an old lady, the vagina is there elegantly. I mean, okay. No! Wrong! Okay, I hate it. Sweden, you lose. It says you're peeing through your penis if you're a boy, and you're peeing through your vagina if you're a girl. Basically saying, like, they're basically the same thing. But no, you don't pee through your vagina. Inside the labia minora on a vulva, there are two openings. One is the urethra and one is the vagina. So pee comes out of the urethra, and the vagina is the next one. There's another opening that's not inside the labia minora, further back towards your bum. That is the rectum. That is where you go poop. So I hate this, actually. You don't pee through your vagina. This is why people get confused and think they can't use a tampon and also still go to the bathroom, like go urinate, because they think they pee out of their vagina, but you don't. Penis and vagina, what a lovely gang. Vagina and penis sing a good refrain. Oh my gosh. Hangle and dangle on a little body. That's what a penis does, hangles and dangles. Well, you know, I was prepared to say only good positive things in this, and that was quite cute, but not accurate. So I've got to take points off, and that's unfortunately where all of my points are, at accuracy. So actually, no, you get a little bit for creativity and a little bit for, I'm sure that this would keep interest for people who are ages 3 to 10, but we want them to have correct information, so. If you're learning more in this video than you did in your American sex ed class, congratulations, you're not alone, so am I, and you should subscribe because we'll continue to fill in those gaps together. Lastly, we have a really involved video series from a Norwegian public broadcasting. It would basically be like if PBS took on sex ed, so there's a whole lot of different ones in this series. We're gonna watch part of one about menstruation. Apparently they're aimed at kids age 8 to 10, but my introduction into this was Karen, my production manager, saying, I'm going to go ahead and send you the blurred version in case you do this on Twitch. And I was like, sorry, because we've been doing sex ed videos and sex education and lots of things like this that with diagrams on YouTube and Twitch for ages, and never once have they ever, my team, sent me something pre-blurred because they thought my stream might get taken down if I do it. So I'm gonna watch the uncensored version here because I'm not filming on Twitch. I'm just filming, you know, just me and my camera in this closet. But we may have to put the blurred version onto YouTube. I don't know. I haven't seen it. We'll decide when we edit.
I denne episoden skal det handle om hun her, jentas kjønnsorgan, også kalt privaten, vulva, fitta, dåsa, musa.
Okay, I live in New Zealand, and I know that in other places besides the US that using the see you next Tuesday word is not as alarming as it is in the States, but they just called it the see you next Tuesday word, and I was told this is for 8 to 10-year-olds, and I don't know how to feel about it, but at least they included the vulva word also. And now, turns out, I know how to say the see you next Tuesday word in Norwegian, so that's fun.
Og det først når vi ser jenta underfra at vi kan se at hun ikke bare har 2 hull, et rumpehull og et tissehull, men at hun også har et tredje hull, nemlig vagina.
But she also has a third hole, a vagina. I'm unnerved about her approaching the camera like that, but it is accurate, and the photographs were making that clear.
Før puberteten jentetissen hårløs med små kjønnslepper.
Okay, the subtitles are interesting. Before puberty, the girl's penis is hairless with a small labia. Don't know who translated this, but please tell me that's wrong. Can someone who can understand the actual audio tell me if that translation is correct or incorrect? Surely it's incorrect.
Og sånn ser jenta ut etter puberteten.
Wow! Okay, having mixed feelings. It feels weird to have real people. You know, I'm sure she's a legal adult, but we're referencing her as if she's not, and this doesn't feel like it's okay, and I don't know, guys. I don't know. What do you think? I have nothing to say. I'm not sure. I'm just thinking of 8 to 10-year-olds watching this and trying to decide is it good or bad, because this just isn't generally what we see in sex ed, and I've watched a lot of sex ed videos.
Hår på Venusberget her, som gjør at sprekken, den nesten skjult.
Yeah, I don't think I have ever seen a sex ed video with a real human as the model that they are showing things on. It's always photos, sometimes real photos and sometimes drawings. And I don't feel like this when it's photos, but for some reason this it feels okay when it's like this, a close-up of just the body part, but the pulling the towel down was uncomfortable.
Og drar vi dit til siden, så kommer de indre kjønnsleppene fram. Og de kan være veldig forskjellige fra jente til jente. Hos noen så de større, hos andre de mindre. Og kjønnsleppene, de der blant annet for å beskytte denne knotten her, klitorishodet. For det et av de mest følsomme stedene på.
Information is great. I love it. Excellent. Thank you. Still not sure how I feel about the way it's being presented visually. Let me know how you feel about it down below. In the content. That was a funny pun and it wasn't on purpose, but you're welcome.
Tissehullet som ligger fremst, og vagina, som et muskelrør som går innover mot livmora. Og inni livmora det et hulrom som en baby kan vokse i.
The translations are terrible, but right now I'm loving this. This is excellent information. So we're looking at a cervix now, and it's on a model, like a silicone or plastic model. And I'm sure that the translation is inaccurate because I can't imagine that this would have not called that a cervix with everything else being accurate, but they're calling it a uterus in the translation.
Og i puberteten begynner å komme utflod ut av denne åpninga. En klar melkehvit eller litt sånn gulaktig væske som skal smøre og rense vaginaen. Og når du oppdager utflod i...
Right, I think we should always describe vaginal discharge in sex ed because oftentimes that doesn't get described and it's normal, but people think it's not because nobody ever told them.
Hos alle jenter ligger det 2 eggstokker dypt inne i magen. Sånn omtrent i hvert fall. Her. Der ligger det små uferdige egg tett i tett. Jenta blir født med cirka 1 million.
We used to think that was true, but we've actually, with more data, now found that it might not be quite true. That thing everybody's heard about, you have all of the eggs that you'll have when you're born and then they only go down. I think science may have been a bit too quick to decide that that was the definitive truth.
Hun lager ikke flere etter det. De begynner faktisk å dø, en etter en. Men i puberteten finner eggstokken ut at den også skal la ett egg modnes.
So I like this, but all I can think about is when I reacted to a Reddit thread of somebody who their boyfriend thought that humans ovulated an egg the size of a chicken egg, and I can only think that this depiction is going to make some little Norwegian kids think that that's accurate.
Egget fanges så opp av egglederen som ligger her, og så går egget sakte, men sikkert mot livmora, som som en slags sånn pære. Men egget kan også komme herfra, for systemet det nemlig dobbelt.
It's funny that they're drawing on her with paint markers. In reality, that's a bit high on the body. That would be like where the uterus would be if you were 16 weeks pregnant. But I know they're just doing it for depiction purposes. And for that same reason, I'm just wondering if maybe we could have used not a human model, but just my preference, I think.
Skal slå seg ned i den næringsrike veggen. Om det skjer, så blir jenta gravid. Om det ikke skjer, så må livmora kvitte seg med denne tjukke veggen her. Og det gjør den ut gjennom vaginaen. Mensen altså livmorvegg blandet.
Wow! Okay. Come on. I don't think that's necessary. Actually, that's quite scary. I don't like that. I don't like that.
Med blod. Og når du har mensen, en viss fare for at dette
normalize that everybody can have accidents, even well into adulthood that happens to us. Sometimes it happens. It's not a big deal. I like that they're normalizing that.
Kanskje. Unnskyld. Bind. Eller tampong. Begge deler suger opp blod som bare det. Tampongen suger opp blodet i vaginaen før det kommer ut. Mens bindet legges i trusa og samler opp blodet på utsida, men før det når buksa. En menstruasjon varer i 2 til 7 dager. Blodet har gjerne en frisk rødfarge i starten, mens mot slutten, da blir det litt mer brun.
I think they're doing great with this part. I love this, actually. I think it should be shown to kids like that so that they know what to actually expect when they have their period.
Det blir en god del blod når jenta blør i nesten en uke. Men nei da, mens dette her alt blod du har i kroppen din, sånn cirka 4 liter, så blør jenta bare en, skal vi se, 4. Hun blør nemlig ikke mer enn sånn cirka 40 milliliter. Ja, jenta blør en 6-7 spiseskjer i løpet av en
167 tablespoons exactly.
mens. Så det ingen fare.
No danger of bleeding to death unless you have, such heavy periods that you are in danger of bleeding to death, which can happen, but no need to scare the youth right now.
For å blø ihjel. Og hva poenget med alt det her? Å få barn? Ikke det, vet du. Dama får mensen fordi det ikke ble barn.
Okay. Mixed feelings about that one. I think the information was great. I loved the menstruation depiction. I was uncomfortable with the live model, although the drawing was kind of cute. I think it probably could have been done just as well with a not human model. But at the same time, I think what got me on that, oh my gosh, this is uncomfortable part was the pulling down the towel. So yeah, anyway, most of that was excellent. The captions, I hope, were inaccurate, but otherwise, I loved it. How do I even wrap this one up? I guess if this is standard, then Norwegian 8-year-olds know more about reproductive health than most Americans, and certainly more than the Americans on the Alaskan school board that compared my content to Playboy magazine, and probably also more than most of Congress. If you think it would be a great idea for us to send these videos and fill up those certain congressmen and women's email inboxes, then send them to your congressperson. I hope you learned something today. I'll see you next Monday. Not next Tuesday.